Uber is spending $300 million to partner with Nuro and Lucid. Let me give you my economic analysis as an Uber driver. Okay, let me read the details to you here. According to the car dealership guy, the partnership was announced Thursday last week, will include ride-hailing tech company investing $300 million into Lucid Motors. That's Uber investing into Lucid to buy or deploy, better word, 20,000 self-driving robotaxis over the next 6 years. And those are three key data points, because 300 million into 20,000 cars is like $15,000 per car. So that doesn't make those cars have to cost more than 15,000. But that the other number there that just seems really off is 6 years. 6 years. That doesn't seem Lucid. This should happen a lot faster, right? So $15,000 per car doesn't seem like the right number. There has to be some sort of additional funding to purchase the vehicles. Then the second thing is 6 years. Those are two key things. But let's go through some more of this here. Um, we are thrilled, says Dara, to partner with Nuro and Lucid on this robotaxi program, purpose built just for the Uber platform, whatever that means, to safely bring the magic of autonomous driving to more people across the world, says Dara. Okay, that's a real interesting thing because Uber, to the best of my knowledge, unless they're doing something different, has never actually delivered a passenger. They have a great app, and let me be very clear. I think the Uber app as an Uber driver works really, really well. But picking up and dropping off people, maintaining a vehicle fleet is actually a little bit more complicated than than just the autonomous driving part. I think I think there's a lot of naivete, and that's arrogant of me to say because I'm sure Darwin knows he's got a probably really smart team. But the physical act of driving someone to one place to another is not the most difficult part about Uber driving. It's the most difficult part of the autonomous functionality, maybe, but it is definitely not the most difficult part. But okay, let me give you some more numbers. This is where the analysis really got fun for me, and my numbers are literally just they should be seed material. These are not a detailed analysis. But as I was going through this information here, I saw this. Let me pull it up. I started to look and analyze Waymo. And Waymo is doing, according to their numbers, 250,000 trips per week. That's a lot. And I found that their fleet of vehicles is 1,500. So that means each Waymo is doing about 167 trips per week. Now that seems pretty low. Now, how many trips can a Waymo do in a day then? It's 24 trips in a day. That seems really low. There's got to be something wrong there with that. Now, downtime per day, let's say it takes the Waymo 5 hours and, let's say 2.5 hour stints where it's down. Basically, the Waymo has to get charged, serviced, cleaned, whatever it might be. So 19, roughly, let's say 19, 20 hours a day, the vehicle's out on the road trying to find and take trips. That means it's roughly 2 trips per hour. The 2 trips per hour. Now, let me give you a comparison of my numbers. Last Saturday, I was online driving for about 13 hours. I was actually out of my house for about 14 some odd hours. I did 30 trips in that time period. So that's a lot more, right? Now, how many miles did I do? I did roughly 205 miles. So miles per trip is about 7. So we're kind of close. The revenue that Uber generated, what passengers paid for all of those, was a little bit over 600, like I think $665 after their promos. but there was, let's see, $44 in taxes, commercial auto insurance, which I don't believe, $143 for one day to drive 205 miles. That doesn't seem right, does it? So there's got to be some other hidden fees in their Uber, but let's just say it's an honest number. I don't believe it, but $143 for commercial auto insurance. My earnings for that day were $385, but that doesn't really matter. Um, the because again, I had tips and some other things in there. The cost per mile was 35 cents, is what my Tesla operates. So I'm going to assume a Waymo vehicle might operate at roughly the same. And that includes my price for fuel, estimated maintenance on the vehicle, and my estimated depreciation on the vehicle. So 35 cents per mile. So my costs were about $71. So that means Uber's gross profit was a little bit over $400, $405 for the day. That's a gross margin of 61%. That's really good. And so you can see why everyone on the planet is kind of thinking like, wow, you take the driver out of the equation, there's a lot of gross margin for us to profit from. That's about a $13.51 per trip was the gross margin if you only accounted, you take the driver out, but you only pay for my car. Because remember, I pay for my own car. So out of my $385 that I earned, which includes tips, I had to pay for $71 worth of my expenses on the car, if that makes any sense to you. Now let's put that back into Waymo, these numbers. If Waymo's doing 250,000 trips per week and the gross margin is $13.51 per trip after you count for all taxes and insurances and expenses. Now, again, you got to pay for software out of that 1351, but their gross margin's $3.3 million, which is 175 million a year. Did I do that right? Yeah, so $3.3 million a week, and yeah, 175 million per year. I think I got all that math right. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, so there's a lot of data that's kind of in there, and it's kind of neat looking at it from an Uber driver perspective. Now you're like, Levi, how do I know any of this? And I don't. I'm just guessing. I have no idea what Waymo charges, but I've heard the prices are similar. Sometimes they're a little bit more, sometimes they're a little bit less, so about equal to an Uber driver. Um, but I think there's a lot of Waymos parked, is what I feel. I think like 1,500 Waymos. The idea with once you get a driver out of the equation, the car should operate at a higher efficiency. There should be a higher usage rate for each vehicle, or they're taking longer trips maybe. But you look at the um, the cities that they're operating in. I mean, 2 trips per hour just seems really small. 'Cause think about the last time you got into an Uber and it's a 30-minute trip. Most of them are 15, 20 minutes. I mean, if you're stuck in traffic, maybe, but yeah, that just doesn't seem right, does it? So again, I was able to do 30 trips working half a day, 12 hours, and Waymos are doing 24 trips and they could go with other than charging for a couple of hours, they could go 24 hours a day, right? They don't need rest breaks like I do. They just need to be serviced and cleaned. So that's some really interesting data. I don't know if that helps kind of perspective on what's going on. My thoughts again on the 20,000 cars with Lucid over 6 years, this seems really, really low. 20,000 cars um, can't service hardly any major city. You need more vehicles. That just needs a lot more vehicles. And so 20,000 spread across the United States, that's just not going to work over 6 years. That seems like a slow implementation. I think Waymo is going to operate a lot faster. I know Tesla with robotaxis is going to operate and move a lot faster. Tesla's going to build hundreds of thousands, if not millions of cars over the next 6 years. And they're all going to be able to operate to some extent on these networks. 20,000 cars seems really low. Like just, it's good. And I don't think Uber is a company that can do this. At the end of the day, that's what I just don't believe. It's a great app. It functions really well. It's a good brand. People trust it. People are not happy with Uber customer service, and there's some pricing issues and the quality of a lot of the drivers, and I get all that. But Uber's not a transportation company. It's never been in the business of actually physically moving people. It's a whole different business. Uber operates and thinks like an app. It operates and thinks like a gaming type of software. Transporting people and maintaining a vehicle fleet is totally, totally different. That's why they outsource it to us, the drivers. I'm the pro. Trust me. It'll be a big, big change. While we all think it's easy, it's not as easy as you think. It's not hard. It's not impossible. It's not rocket science. But a lot of companies go look at your local taxi companies. Are they really good at this? There's a lot of good taxi companies, but there's a lot of broken down cars driving too, right? So come on. All right, I don't want to be negative on Uber. It's not my goal's not to crap on them. I just thought I looked at that number and I just quickly thought, wait, this doesn't make any sense. 20,000 cars over 6 years. That's not going to make a dent in this business. And yeah, and then got a chance to look at Waymo's numbers, and I was like, well, I see 250,000 trips a week at probably I say $13 per trip, maybe gross margin. Okay, it's a $3 million a week, $175 million a year business, gross profit. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, can you operate off of $175 million in gross profit? Yeah, they should be able to operate a pretty good software solution off of that. They really should. Okay, what do you think? Do you think Uber in this Lucid partnership is really right way to go? What do you think about robotaxi? I'm a big robotaxi fan, Tesla guy here, and Waymo and autonomous cars. Let me know in the chat in the comment section. Hey, my name is Levi. This is the Daily Drive. I'm an Uber driver. I've been doing it about 5.5 some odd years, 13,000 trips. And before that, I was in economics and accounting and some other stuff. So it's kind of fun to look at the numbers. If you're an Uber driver, know that I'm cheering for you. For 2025, I want you to drive your way. You're going to get a lot of advice, and some of it's good, some of it's bad. But I want you to know that you should be able to drive your way. I want you to be safe, healthy, and happy. Yeah, just know I'm cheering for you. I really am. Be well. Bye.